Hi, I'm Phil Quarta, and welcome to Planet. This is a first in a series of debriefing videos where I'm going to tell you about what my experience was in interviewing the person in the previous episode. So today we're going to talk about Jonathan Pastore and Bean to Bean Cafe. So where I think I want to start is talking about this concept of epicenters. I moved to Philly about 12 years ago, and I think for about the first decade or so, it was really tough to find a community. You know, I had friends and I had people that I worked with and, you know, people that I interacted with, but never really had that place where it felt like home. And about 2 years ago, I moved over into Fishtown and kind of Old Kensington area, and it was the first time where I really felt connected to Philly as a city. I think the thing that drew me in was thinking about these epicenters and these places that people would gather, in this case, bars, coffee shops, restaurants, that kind of thing, and specifically Sutton's, Human Robot, and Bean to Bean Cafe. And I remember walking into Bean to Bean for the first time, and it kind of confirmed something that Jonathan said, that when people walk in, they're kind of blown away, like, damn, I didn't expect it to be like this. And that was almost my exact experience. And I think it's kind of interesting because Jonathan and Nobel have done such a good job in cultivating a space that not only feels welcoming, but the grandeur of it. I mean, Billy Penn is huge, and you have 30 or 40 foot ceilings in the atrium where you sit and you have coffee, and it really just has this visual component that makes you not only really enjoy it when you're there, but want to go back. And I think that when I first met Jonathan, I was struck by his energy. I think that he is a very personable guy, and I think that he is very welcoming and warm, but he's got this laid-back coolness about him that kind of makes you want to talk with him more and just get to know him. And that was definitely what led me to go to Bean more frequently, and also inevitably ask him to sit down with me and interview, because not only did I want to know about what it took to start a coffee shop, but also about his story. And it's interesting because when we sat down, I don't really go into these interviews with a lot of prepared questions. I kind of just riff on it, and it really, for me, that style works. But you know, when I sat down with him, I was expecting to ask him maybe more personal questions, and we talked a lot about the coffee shop, but I got swept away in just kind of being interested in what he was talking about in that regard, because, you know, I don't own a coffee shop, and I think it was cool to learn about what it took and what he valued as well, because while the coffee and the product is super important to him, it was also a situation where the atmosphere and creating and cultivating that was almost as important, or maybe even more important. And maybe it's also more important now because they have the coffee stuff so dialed in. But I agree. You know, I was actually there this morning and had a cup of coffee. I don't normally drink coffee black, and I tried it black, and I was like, this is a smooth cup of coffee. And so he stands by it, and I endorse that. You know, it is the smoothest cup of coffee that I've had in Philly. And if you haven't gone there, head on down to 5th and Oxford inside Billy Penn Studios and check it out, because it is a great time, and they do have a great product. So, Jonathan, I want to say thank you for sitting down with me, and you know, I'll see you soon.